Hello.
And welcome to
Let the Girls Play. I'm Kelsey Bailey.
I'm Amelia Bain.
And we're here to talk about the WNBA and beyond, baby.
This episode, actually, we're getting back to our roots. We're talking mostly WNBA. We're not going beyond so much today.
We're staying in the bed and the bath.
The bed and the bath of the league.
A lot of things happening in the WNBA over the past 2 weeks since we last chatted before Thanksgiving when we were talking about what we were thankful for. We have had an expansion draft. We've had new coaches announced. We've had schedules announced. We had a expansion team name leaked. And biggest news in my opinion, we've had Jewell Loyd request to be traded.
Oh my God, that was a shock.
A shocking turn of events. Should we just start off with that?
Let's start, because it feels like the thing I want to talk about the most.
It's the thing I want to talk about, and also it will come back during the expansion draft in what I'm calling the read of the year. But we'll talk about that.
It's more complicated, but I think, yes, let's call it the read of the year.
It's the read of the year. I mean, there is strategy behind it, but at, surface level, I'm taking it as the library is open.
The library is
Miss Valkyrie.
Open. Yeah, Ms. Valkyrie.
Ms. Valkyrie
gave us the gag of the century. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. So previously on Let the Girls Play, we talked about the very vague investigation into bullying taking place in Seattle. And we said, this is very unlike us. We said we don't want to speculate on it because we don't know and it felt inappropriate. That investigation is apparently over.
It's over. And I'll tell you what, they came up empty-handed. They said, we have no conclusive evidence that there has been bullying happening at the Seattle Storm team on a coach's level or any inner locker room level. And I think we found out who the complainant was in this case because the same day, Jewell Loyd, star player of the Seattle Storm, said she would like to request a trade.
That is shocking to me. Like, if I had to guess who was being bullied or allegedly bullied, I wouldn't have guessed Jewell Loyd.
No.
Who would bully Jewell? I mean, you shouldn't bully anybody. Sorry. I don't mean to be like, you have to be a cool, great person to not get bullied. I don't think anyone should be bullied, but especially Jewell Loyd.
Your franchise player.
You're going to bully her? I also am a little bit like, remember in Vegas when they were like, actually, we did our own investigation and everything's fine with the De'Arca Hamby situation? I wonder if we haven't heard the last of this situation.
This is going to be
Seattle.
Escalated to not, the person who is the general manager of the team or whatever. It's not going to be Sue Bird with a magnifying glass going around looking for clues.
It better be. I'd love that show. Sue's Clues.
Sue's Clues. Wow.
Aww.
And I could see her wearing a little green rugby shirt.
Oh, definitely. Because she's
already worn it. Yeah. Well, Sue's Clues turned up no evidence, and all of the charges or accusations or whatever we want to call them, because this isn't a lawsuit. So it came up with nothing. And a mere few hours later, after that news was released, Jewell Loyd said, send me somewhere else. So now the question is, where will she go?
Kelsey, you're somebody that knows a lot about the players, where they went to college, kind of what their interests are, if they own a business. Is there anything you know about Jewell Loyd that would give you like personal life reasons why she would go to a team?
I think there is one team that I'm like, I could see them trading Jewell to the Las Vegas Aces for Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Plum famously played at Washington, broke records there. Her jersey is being retired in Seattle. Also, there is speculation that maybe Kelsey Plum needs to be leaving the Las Vegas Aces just because, there were some people who were upset with her performance. There may have been some shade thrown her way by Becky Hammon and the post-game press conference where she was like, people are doing commercials and not practicing or whatever. So thinking, could Jewell Loyd go there, knowing she is very close friends with A'ja Wilson, knowing that they could use her as a shooting guard and also just from a point guard perspective, could she be the right fit in Vegas?
So then we also get an incredible stinker backcourt in that scenario in Seattle. We've got Skylar Diggins-Smith, the queen of review that play, Kelsey Plum, little stinker, trash talker. Interesting.
So from a perspective, and then also she would be playing with fellow Fighting Irishman Jackie Young, two Notre Dame alums on one team. But the question is, does Kelsey Plum want to, I mean, it doesn't matter if she wants to go or not. That would be my first, as GM, putting on my GM hat, I would do a trade of Kelsey Plum for Jewell Loyd.
I could just see her getting along with that group
all
of
the
gals.
girls. Yeah, they're all friends. There's that great video of Jewell and Asia Wilson from the All-Star, the NBA All-Star game like a couple of years ago. Like they're obviously good friends. Someone else was saying she could go to Chicago. I believe Jewell Loyd is from the Chicagoland area.
Okay. I kind of like that because Chicago does need some veteran leadership.
Yes, but is that what Jewell Loyd wants? Because that's what she had to be doing the past couple years in Seattle.
So true. Yeah. Maybe Jewell doesn't want to have to be the adult in the room. Does she want to go somewhere
where it's like, yes, she might be like, I'm done being the babysitter, being the parent. Let me go where there's some folks who are on my level.
And interesting that you say parent when she's the one being bullied, because I can confirm it is possible to be bullied by your child.
Okay. Do you want anything you want to talk about, Amelia?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Do you want me to open an investigation?
My child has internally investigated herself and cleared herself of all charges.
Okay. All right. Well, then it's time for you to request a trade out of your household. So now the mystery is, where's Jewell going to go? And could it potentially be to the Golden State Valkyries? Could she be the new franchise player for Golden State? And with that, should we talk about the WNBA expansion draft of the Golden State Valkyries?
We posted Kelsey's predictions from her spreadsheets.
Only one was right.
I think what we messed up was we did not take into account the international players who teams have rights to, who have not necessarily played yet. Like what Leonie Fibich was to Chicago, right? Several years ago.
Dallas, I think.
Dallas.
Los Angeles? I don't freaking know.
Someone had the rights to
Someone
Leonie
will correct
Fibich.
me in the comments. Don't worry.
Someone will. And anyway, there was a team that had the rights to Leo, and they were sitting on, but they didn't realize they were sitting on a gold mine. So maybe that was a strategy for the Valkyries, is like, let's just see, instead of picking the 7th best player on a team that we know is the 7th best player, let's see if there's a little diamond in the rough out there somewhere.
Yeah. They said, we're going worldwide. Mr. Worldwide put on his GM hat.
This team is, I think 7 out of the 11 players they selected are international players. Get ready to use that international airport in San Francisco.
Here we go. SFO, let's go. But let's talk about it. I did have one prediction come correct, so kudos to me.
She did it.
I did it. I got 1 out of 12. So that is a failing grade. And 2 of the folks that got drafted were people that I would have protected if I was playing GM of these teams. So let's get into it. First up, from the New York Liberty, the Golden State Valkyries selected our girl, Kayla Thornton.
I'm devastated, but also it's complex because I'm happy for her. I think she'll have more opportunity to have like she can be one of the star players on this team.
Absolutely.
She can be a starter. She's going to get a lot of minutes. Gosh, I just love Kayla. She hustles so hard. Sometimes she's shooting lights out from 3. Nobody's playing harder, putting in more effort than Kayla.
Yeah, my dog, who's behind me, is on her back because she
loves Kayla
she's
Thornton.
So floored by the level of defensive play, the dogness of Kayla Thornton. I think the Liberty lost a real dog with this, and yes, it was my prediction that they would snatch her up, and that's, if I was playing GM of the Golden State Valkyries, that's who I would go for. So a good pick, but very sad because she was, outside of being like a great defensive player and a spark and could change the momentum of a game, she was also so great, like a hang. She was she was a personality hire, not personality hire because she was also really good, but she was like the heart of, the fun.
Yeah. I love her and I will miss her, but they got a good one. It was fun to watch Breonna Stewart's reaction in real time. She was on Twitter sort of reacting to Kayla Thornton getting drafted, and she was like, y'all don't even have Burrows. Do you have Papa John's? Like trying to and said like Ruby's gonna be so mad.
Yeah, Ruby's gonna be so pissed. And also like my thoughts go out to Kennedy Burke, who was, BFF of Kayla Thornton.
The other half of that dynamic duo, KT and KB, gave us so many great social media moments for the Liberty this year.
So much free marketing for Papa John's.
Oh my God. Made me want a Papa John's right now.
Honestly, I could go for some of that garlic dipping sauce or whatever it is.
This draft, Kelsey, it really is like kind of a Kelsey's greatest hits. Like some of these players are like your girls.
My girl
and
girls.
I would include Kayla in that. And then moving on to this next player, this is a Kelsey Bailey favorite. Julie Van Loo / Van Le. We learned during the Olympics that actually her name is pronounced Van Le.
And we've been wrong. She was one of the players that I would have protected in DC, just knowing how great of a shooter she was, and just really came in clutch as a point guard, a reserve point guard, as a rookie for the year. I would have protected her if I was in DC, but right now I don't think DC has a general manager. So who
made these decisions? AI?
Yeah, Allen Iverson is fucking busy right now. Everyone's turned into AI Allen Iverson in these trying times.
Julie Van Le is so good. I'm really excited to see her matching up with some of these other players who've been drafted by Golden State.
Julie, have fun in San Francisco. Very proud of you for being. All of these players should feel very honored that they're held in such high esteem that they want to bring them to Golden State to be like a foundational block in the building of this franchise. So obviously it's an honor.
And spoiler alert, we did learn that like they didn't have to pick someone from a team. So the fact that they chose you at all that's an honor. You should feel really good about yourself.
And let's see, who else do we got? We got Veronica Burton, selected from the Connecticut Sun. I think this is fun because her and Kayla Thornton played in Dallas together, so that'll be a nice little reunion for the two of them. They played one season in Dallas together. From Chicago, Maria Condi.
This is a mystery for us.
She's an international player, a EuroLeague player who I don't think played last season at all. I don't know if she's played in the WNBA formally yet, but if she has, yell at me in the comments.
Not to our knowledge.
Next up from Atlanta, we had Ileana Rupert, the French basketball player. Excited to see what she does.
Yeah, and to be honest, there's not really a place that's taking basketball more seriously than France right now. They have famously made their national team not play in the WNBA, so I'm excited to see any player coming out of France, really.
Absolutely.
We love Marine Johannes, our favorite French player.
I hope she's coming back. I hope she's coming back.
Relieved to not see her name on this board.
I know. There was a moment where I was like, are they going to draft Marine? But I don't know what the fuck's going on with Marine.
No,
She's coming back
Kayla
to Liberty?
Is such a good steal.
Yeah, for sure. And then next, I was gagged, gooped, wig snatched by this selection from Indiana, Temi Fagbenle, one of my faves from last season. In my fake GM AU alternate universe, I had protected her. But what a great get for Golden State Valkyries.
Yeah. I saw someone online saying that like she's an unrestricted free agent, or she's about to be an unrestricted free agent. So it might have been a strategy move because she could just leave them.
Get traded somewhere else.
Right. Or sign somewhere else. Yeah. So
I'll tell you what, I can't wrap my head around that type of shit.
I know there were a couple things that people online when Kelsey posted her predictions were like, actually you're wrong about this because
they're cored. They've been cored twice.
Okay.
I'm like, if you think I can understand what any of that shit means, honey.
I know you can. I know if you decide, if your special brain decides to latch on to the structure of that, everybody else can forget it. Kelsey is going to be the biggest expert on it. But
my special brain is choosing to try and memorize where every player played in college, if they played in college.
But okay, talking about Temi, imagine we've got Julie Van Le, Temi Fagbenle, fast break, Julie throw in some ill-advised, really
doing a crazy
pass.
Euro pass.
Temi catching it beautifully, landed in.
With her little knee pads, elbow pads.
We're going to see some beautiful basketball from these two. I can't wait.
Very exciting. And then from Minnesota, Cecilia Zandalicini. I'm trying to say it as Italian as I can.
I think you could say it more Italian.
No, because I think it would be offensive.
I just geared, you're Italian. Well, you're Italian American,
and I'm Italian American. Did you see myself gearing myself up to do it, and then I had to stop myself?
And then
But absolutely, a great key player in the Minnesota playoffs. She would come off the bench and she would be hitting great shots or just playing great defense. So I think this is a really great, a great choice from the Golden State Valkyries.
Yeah, and really, Minnesota is such a deep team. We talked about it so much last season that like they have so many great players on their team. Mm-hmm. There were a couple good options.
Yeah.
From Minnesota, I think, that could have gotten snatched up.
Absolutely.
I'm happy for Xanda Licini to get some more playing time.
Yeah, and I think that is the nice thing about all of these folks who are being traded is they will probably get more playing time and could be starters, which maybe they weren't on their team before. And from Dallas, another French player, Carla Light.
We don't really know much about you, but I'm sure we're going to love you when we find out about you.
Absolutely. We will be creating a parasocial relationship with all of these players, as we do with everyone else. From Phoenix, Mo Billings.
I love this.
Good for her. Like, she was bopping around a lot last season after being traded from Atlanta.
She is, I think, just a professional. That is the word that comes to mind. Mm-hmm. Remember that tweet that she put out when she first got signed by Dallas and she was like, here's what you're going to get from me.
Yes.
I'm ready to start day one.
And then she did. She delivered on that tweet starting from the first game.
That. When you need somebody that is going to be a leader and a professional on this new team they're starting from nothing. Starting from scratch.
Absolutely. She's the specialist or whatever they called that guy from the Pommel Horse.
Yeah. She is Steven
Natarazak.
Yeah.
Steve Wozniak. And then the Golden State Valkyries were saying, who can we draft that will allow our jersey sales numbers to go through the absolute roof? And they said, Kate Martin.
And they are right.
Kate Martin being drafted from the Las Vegas Aces. It's a nice reunion for her and Coach Nat to be back together. Shout out Kate Martin again.
Yeah. It speaks to, I think, yes, jersey sales and marketable player, that's part of it. But it also speaks to, like, she must be a great player to coach because Coach Nakase has already coached her, knows her, and believes in her of all of the possible players she could have gotten.
Yeah, and she's also, she's a great player. She had some really great plays when she was in Las Vegas, and it's great to know that she went from being sitting in the audience at the WNBA draft to being drafted to the Las Vegas Aces and now being drafted as one of the foundational players of the Golden State Valkyries. So what a Cinderella story for a great player.
I'm happy for Kate. Keep it going, Kate.
Keep it going. And then from the Los Angeles Sparks, they drafted Aussie sensation Steph Talbot. She's the player that, I don't know if you remember, but last season, Stewie had that crazy block where she sprinted from one end of the court all the way down. And
I'm sure that's not how she would describe herself. I don't think that's how she would describe how she would pitch herself as a player. But yeah. No, I'll never forget, and I doubt she will either.
Yeah, the Aussie Opal. Congrats to Steph Talbot. You're not going too far from Los Angeles. You're just heading up north, babe.
And then we have to get to what Kelsey is calling the gag of the century, the read of the century.
Read of the century. The library is open from the Golden State Valkyries. It came time to announce who they would be drafting from the Seattle Storm, and they said they have opted to not draft anybody. They took a look at that roster and they said, no, thank you. They said, we're good.
That is how it came across.
Yes.
I saw online that like actually there were only a couple players, maybe one or two players that would have been eligible to take. But also it was funny.
It was
in the moment when they were like, from Seattle, the Valkyries select no one.
It's like when my mom's trying to give me like her old, like her clothes. She's like, I have all these shirts. Do you want any of them? I'm like, oh no. No, I don't want any of that.
It's just like that.
It's just like when my mom's trying to give me her old Navy stuff. sorry, Seattle. Sorry to anybody who's trying to get out of the bullying atmosphere.
Sorry to one person in particular who I'm sure was protected.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So that's the new roster, the first ever roster for the Golden State Valkyries. Congratulations, Valkyries.
We look forward to another expansion draft in 2025. 2025, where it will be 2 new teams. And let's talk about one of those new teams, because a very funny thing happened and the WNBA accidentally leaked the team name of the new Toronto, drumroll please,
Tempo. I'm sure it'll grow on me I mean, I'm sure if someone was like, your team is the New York Liberty, I think I'd be like, what?
That makes a lot of sense, actually. But I do think that I don't think I'm with you on that one, Amelia. But
okay.
I just think they had, an explainer of like, here's why we chose the tempo or whatever it is. And I was like, all right, whatever. I will say, logo be banging.
You like the logo?
I do like the logo. I think the logo is a fun throwback. I think it's pretty cool. People are saying it's the Pacers logo, but whatever.
Oh, I was going to say, do you think you like it because it's also the New Balance logo, kind of?
Oh. Mm-hmm.
A little?
I think, yeah. I wonder if they didn't have a logo ready and they're like, well, we got to fucking announce this. Someone draw something up. And it was either a tempo that looked like the McDonald's logo or a tempo that looked like a New Balance logo.
And they picked the one that's sports related. Yeah. So what exactly, I mean, we don't know exactly, but can we speculate what happened? The WNBA accidentally listed this team as a team on their website.
That's exactly what happened. It was in a drop-down menu, and I think it was maybe for to see the schedules or the ticket sales or go to the website or something. You can toggle between the different teams on their websites.
I wonder who, first of course, I wonder who made that mistake, but more than that, I wonder who noticed it. Who was the first person who was like, I know.
That was like, I'm going to go check out the hamburger display or whatever that thing is when you hit the hamburger logo. And
also, should we be doing that more? Should we be on websites looking at the drop down menus more? Well, I hope whoever did it, I hope they did it on purpose. I hope it was a disgruntled WNBA employee, but probably it was just a mistake.
It was probably just AI.
It was just Allen Iverson. He's overworked. He's having to name the unrivaled teams. He's having to be the GM for the Washington Mystics. And now he's having to do web design for the WNBA. Allen Iverson, take a break, buddy.
Take a break, AI. Come on, take a break,
Don't
AI.
Burn out.
Don't burn out,
be
babe.
Everything to everyone.
We need you. Also, whoever has leaked the Toronto tempo, let's leak that Portland one. What are they going to be called?
Portland.
The Portland Voodoo. Voodoo Donuts is a very popular place in Portland, so maybe they're the Portland Voodoo.
That's fun.
I gotta stop giving away free ideas.
Not until they hire you.
Not until they hire me. And speaking of hire,
somebody got a job.
Rashid Mezian, who is he was the head coach for the Belgium national team, coaching up Emma Mieseman and Julie Van Le, along with some other great players. He was also a head coach in the French women's basketball league, which is very exciting. So a lot of experience. He seems like a big old teddy bear.
He is. Unfortunately, we had hoped that there was a hiring freeze on more men being hired as coaches. He at least is a very experienced international coach. I think this seems like a really good hire.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what it will be like to have him in the WNBA. And again, we are going to ask, beg, plead to please put a moratorium on hiring men, and let's get some women and women of color in those final coaching spots. Would love to have a
black woman coach hired after having a couple black women coaches lose their jobs this season.
Absolutely. So, putting that out into the universe, Kathy, if you're listening, I don't know, put out an executive order. No more men.
Kathy.
Maybe
Kathy's like, I want to do the website myself. I want to learn web design.
She said, I've been taking this fun night class. I think I can do it. So don't worry about it. You guys take off for
Everybody
Thanksgiving.
Go home for Thanksgiving.
Go for Thanksgiving.
Got it.
No one should be working on Thanksgiving. I got it. Don't worry about it. I'll log the hours. I won't even charge overtime. I might order myself some dinner and expense it.
And she's eating sushi. She's having a glass of wine. She's coding.
She's in a silk robe. She's having a girl's night.
She's loving it. And then she says, click. And the next morning she wakes up.
And then, I gotta go see what the drop-down menu looks like so I can toggle between my teams. Oh, wait a second.
Oh my gosh. Well, welcome to the league, Toronto Tempo. Welcome to the league, Rashid Mezian. We will get better, I'm sure, or at least more confident at pronouncing your name as the season goes. Or we'll learn, like with Julie Van Le, that we've been saying it wrong all along.
Yeah. Or if we really like you, we'll give you a nickname.
I feel confident he's getting a nickname.
Men have had such great nicknames on this podcast, such as Short King, Nepo Baby, and then the man from Phoenix.
The man from Phoenix.
The man from Phoenix. So right now I'm going to call you Big Baby.
Big Baby.
You kind of look like a big old baby. And I say that respectfully because I like babies. So
we're looking forward to seeing you grow from a big baby into still a big baby, but also
a big old toddler.
A big old toddler.
Yeah, terrible twos.
Who can bully, as we've learned today.
Yes. Anyone can be a bully.
You know, some people would say that every episode of this podcast, we bully a specific demographic of people.
That's true.
The referees.
You know what? We're going to do it again.
We're going to do it again.
Just because we're in the off season doesn't mean they're going to get a pass. We didn't talk about them. There's no reason to be talking about them. But it's important to remember because once you start to forget, that's when they get more powerful.
They do.
They can't catch us slipping.
So with that, Kelsey, everyone
involved in the WNBA is a hero. Except the refs. Bye.
Bye.